What if you could do one thing and it would be a total game changer for you for the next year and how you set and achieved your goals? Well, you can, and I know because I did it. But before I get into all that, let me welcome you back to my channel. My name is Ayanna, and this is Beyond Committed, where we talk about everything from life, faith, family, marriage, motherhood, and everything in between, and we take it beyond. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I'm so glad you stopped by. And to make sure you're not a stranger, make sure you press the subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. All right, now let's dive right in. If you've never picked a word of the year, then this is the year for you to start. I know for me, I had heard of the word of the year for a few years. And I actually picked a word of the year for a few years. But I didn't do anything with it because I'm like, okay, this seems just some arbitrary thing. So, I picked this word, I put it at the top of my goal sheet, and then I just kind of kept it moving. But last year, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something different with how I walk out the year and how I achieve my goals. So I allowed God to help me pick the word, because I had picked a word before, like, oh, that sounds great. I think I picked commitment one year, and I was committed for a little while to some things, and then I wasn't anymore. And then like last year, I'm like, okay, Lord, show me a way to kind of not just set my goals, but also show me a way that I can actually walk them out in a better way and achieve them. So with my word of the year, that's how God led me to kind of not just set my goals, but actually work towards achieving them. So last year, my word of the year was permission. And I realized that there were so many things in my life that I was not giving myself permission to do, permission to dream, or permission to let go. And by using that word, it helped me to walk out my goals through the year, and it helped me to do 3 important things that your word of the year should also help you do as well. The first thing that your word of the year does is it helps to keep you focused. You set these goals. You kind of write all these goals down, to whether they're personal goals within your marriage, within your relationship, within your faith, within your finances. There's so many different goals that we set, from year to year. But then life happens. Sometimes we get off track. Sometimes we get off focus. And it's easy to kind of get off focus when, something new pops up. Because I know for me, it's like, okay, you have this goal to, drink so much water, for instance, every day. And I had that goal for last year. And then, life happened, or, I didn't have the right cup one day, or, the water wasn't cold enough, or whatever excuses I gave myself. But with your word of the year, it allows you to, make sure you're focused on the right things. Like, for instance, my word was permission. So I had to give myself permission to make sure that I was taking the best care of my health. So that meant I had to go get my water cup, whether I wanted to get up or not. That means I had to make sure that the water was whatever temperature I needed to be to make sure I drank it. It's simple things like that, but it's things that help you stay focused to what you want to do, and also what God has called you to do. Because there's so many things that are going to pop up. There's so many things that will get you off focus and off track. And also so many things that come up that maybe, you want to add to your list. But it's like, okay, is this new thing, is this new opportunity, is this new situation that you may be entering or considering, does this align with your other goals? And more importantly, does this align with the word you have decided that you're going to help filter your year with? So if it doesn't, then that allows you to see, okay, this is taking me off of what I want to do. This is taking me off the goals that I've set, and this is maybe taking you off what God has called you to do. So it's so important that as we work through the year, as we work on achieving our goals and checking them off the list, that we're focused and intentional, and your word of the year will help you do just that. And the second thing that your word of the year will help you do, and it kind of goes hand in hand with focus, is it helps you to filter or kind of refine. Because with all these new things coming at you, also with things that don't go according to plan and the mishaps that happen along the way, we need to be able to filter accordingly. Use the wisdom and discernment that God gave us to making sure we're continuing to move forward in a positive direction, realizing that it's not going to always go perfectly. And with the new things popping up, we need to see, okay, is this something that we need to add to our list of goals? Is this something that's going to help us achieve a goal? Or is this something that's just going to distract us and get us off track? Because all of the things will happen. So making sure we are filtering correctly, making sure we are seeking God first in all of it, but also using the wisdom and discernment that he's given us to kind of making sure we're making the best decision that we can. We're saying the best yes to the things that we should, and we're saying a confident no to the things that we shouldn't. And using our word of the year to kind of help us do that, to kind of give us that extra layer of filter is so important. So for instance, with my word permission last year, there was different things that popped up and different opportunities for me within business, but also within my marriage. And sometimes they were like in, conflict. Like, okay, if I said yes to this, that meant I have to say no to this. So what do I do? So I took a pause, prayed about it, of course, but also, okay, is this giving you a permission to do the things and be the woman that I know I want to be and that God is calling me to be? And that helped me to make the decisions that were necessary to say yes to some things and no to others. So it's so important that as we navigate life and all the different things that come our way and the missteps that go all along the way, we are making sure we're refining and filtering accordingly. And your word of the year can help you do that. And the third way your word of the year helps you is it helps you to stay encouraged. Because no matter how much you focus and how much you filter and refine, there's going to be missteps. There are going to be situations that is not working out according to plan. Well, that goal, I'm not going to be able to achieve that way or in this time frame or whatever it is. And we can get discouraged. I mean, it's so easy to kind of be pumped up and have all this enthusiasm or motivation when we first start on our journey of achieving those goals. Especially, at the beginning of the year, we set all these goals. We're like, okay, go, go, go. I'm on it. But then as time goes on, as things happen, that enthusiasm and that motivation kind of wanes. So what do you do then? Because you still have all these goals. You're still like, okay, I still want to do all these things, but then, life has kind of happened. So how do I keep pushing myself forward, but, realizing the reality of what's in front of me? And that's where your word of the year can come into, because it can help to motivate you to realize that, okay, the decisions that you're making along the way are in line with, your goals, and also are aligned with the word you chose to kind of help you walk out the year. So making sure that you are mindful of that, making sure you are encouraging yourself, because in this journey, sometimes you will have the encouragement from others. As I always say, like, as a husband and a wife, y'all should be each other's biggest cheerleaders. But sometimes you need to be able to encourage yourself along the way. Sometimes your husband isn't there to encourage you. Sometimes he may not know the right thing to say, and vice versa. I know for my husband and I, sometimes, I can see, he needs some encouragement, but there's times where I'm not even sure what to say. So I'll just give him a hug. It's like, I don't have the words, but you got this, baby. And he'll do the same thing for me, because we're like, I'm at a loss. So, you can do it. But I mean, sometimes even in that, you're like, okay, I need to encourage myself. So making sure that your word of the year is something that can be motivating and encouraging you is so awesome and so necessary. I know for me, I had to encourage myself a lot of times, because not everything went right and not everything will go right. And there were some times where I'm like, okay, well, I did my best with this situation, or I thought this was a good opportunity and it turned out to not be, or I thought this was the best choice and it wasn't. So what do I do now? But once I took a pause and realized, okay, maybe this is a lesson I needed to learn right now that I need to take into the future, and realizing that this situation actually gave me permission to either take a breath, take a step back, or learn a lesson. And I was okay with that. And that encouraged me to just take the next right step, whatever that is. So I encourage you. So when you are picking your word of the year, make sure that it is a word that you can use to not just help you to focus, help you to refine and filter, but also to help you encourage you along the way, because you're going to need it. All right, that's it for today. And I want to know, what's your word of the year? Let me know in the comment box below. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and then make sure you press the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a video. All right, now until I see you again, bye.